Okay guys, so today we are going to cover a subject which is very important in the field where we all work is leadership, because in private organization or in the private work which is very competitive, everything rise and fall on leadership, or you can say fall on leaders. There is one concept which very clearly John Maxwell has detailed, which is called law of Lick. And therefore, I will request you, whosoever is on the leadership position or who is aspiring to become leader, you have to read all the books of John Maxwell. You have to go through the videos. You have to understand the kind of concept which he has given. Most of the concept which I am going to talk about today in maybe various videos is actually coming as an extract from John Maxwell's book or the videos. The law of Lick. The law of Lick says, in the leadership, we reach to a level. For example, on a scale of 10, your leadership is at 6. When your leadership is 6, you have to understand that your organization will never be more than 6. It will always be at 5. It can never happen that you are at 6 and your organization is at 7 or 8 or 9. It's always is below. So the law of leadership or the law of Lick in leadership clearly speak about your level of leadership, which is called Lick, actually define the success of your organization. If you are at 5, your organization will be below that. If you are at 6, your organization will be below that. So the law of Lick clearly says your Lick, which is your level of leadership, define the organization productivity, the success of your organization, and even the organization overall leadership gets stuck to that Lick which you have created. That is good that you know your level of Lick, but the question is, what is next? Next is to lift the Lick. Now, how to lift the Lick? Because you want your organization should grow. If you move from 5 to 6, your organization will move from 4 to 5. If you move from 6 to 7, your organization will move from 5 to 6. And therefore, it is very, very imperative, critical to really lift the Lick of leadership. Now, how to do that? Now, for this, John Maxwell has given us 5 ways of doing it. The first is every day lead yourself. Team members, please remember that unless until you lead yourself, you do not have any right to lead others. Leadership is visual. People do not follow your words. People follow and people see how you are behaving, how you are acting, how you are taking your leadership. Because leadership is about it's a visual, both in responsibility and act. And therefore, it is very, very important that you lead yourself every day. Leadership is not about becoming a travel agent where people they want to send you somewhere where they have never been. People don't follow your finger, people follow you. Therefore, it is very, very critical to lift the Lick. The first thing what you have to understand is the first part of it, that is lead yourself. There is a concept which has come is called law of magnetism. The law of magnetism is what we attract is actually what we are, not what we want to be. Which means sometimes, you remember, we go to HR and we see we require a leadership position, we have a leadership position, we require a vice president. His attitude should be good, his character should be good, he should be fully skilled, and he should think positive, he should have entrepreneurial skill, he should influence people without authority. Please to understand, this is what we need in our team member. But the first thing is whether you have those qualities or not, and therefore John Maxwell clearly says the first thing what you have to do is lead yourself. Now coming to the second part which he has defined very clearly is every day add value to others. Leadership is not about you. Leadership is about others. Others means how you are going to add value to others every day. People want to work with a leader who can really equip people with professionally and intellectually, where they can add value to the others people. So we are talking about every day add values. As we said, leadership is always about others, not about you. And they say if you give what your people need, you will get what you want. And therefore every day you have to add value. The first thing what you have to do in this is you value your people. And leadership is very, very clear. The day you stop valuing people is actually the day where you stop even leading people. That is the day end of your leadership, the day you stop valuing people. The second thing is you have to connect, maybe understand and connect values of others. And therefore the most critical part here is listen more. You have to listen to your people. When I was handling Asia, Middle East, Africa, every country has got their own culture. They comes with their different values. So best part is you listen, you try to learn, and then you try to lead. So listen, learn, and lead become a concept when you want to add value to others. And the second thing the last thing which comes in adding value to others is you make yourself more valuable. I have seen in my career a lot of people who are young people who are coming, they are very active. They participate in so many places that they understand certain concept maybe more than you, which is good part of it. But at the same time, because you're running a bigger organization, you have to make sure that you always or maybe every day make yourself more valuable, and that is the way you can really add value to others. So what we have till now covered is the first part, to lift the lid of your leadership is lead yourself every day. The second thing what we have learned about is how every day we are going to value others, or how we are going to add value to others, people who works along with you. The third is study leadership. Anything, the subject where you are in, it is very important to study leadership. And anything which you, whether you can, if you want to learn leadership, you can go for example, learning lunches. I go to Dubai sometimes, I spend time with even my colleague, I buy lunches for them, and they have not realized I keep on asking questions to learn what they are doing, because they are in different industry. For example, one of them is a CEO of FMCG company, how they really position their product, how really they customize the entire market and segment it and find out who is the target customer, how they set the pricing, how the display work. There are a lot of things which you can learn from the colleagues and the people while you are taking lunch along with them. The second can be attend conferences. I attend conferences, I participate in conferences. When you participate in conferences, obviously you have to study, and then only you can participate. You can go for an event, you can go for any maybe classes, online classes, read books. I buy books more than what I can read, but keep on buying to really understand what is happening in leadership all across. John Maxwell, as this concept comes from him, I keep on watching his videos, maybe 10 times the same videos, to really understand after 4 decades, if he's talking about a particular subject, what really leadership means. So you have to study leadership. Now after that comes is you have to practice leadership, because most of the time when we go for the training, everything left in the training. You have to really practice. Every day you have to think how you have added value. Every day you have to think how you are equipping your team members professionally and intellectually so that they can be groomed. And therefore it is very, very critical. It's not only to learn leadership, you have to practice leadership. And the last one, to lift the lid of your leadership, is you have to intentionally grow. Intentionally word is very, very critical, because you have to understand this clearly, that you have to intentionally grow every day. And that is the only way where you can lift the lid of your leadership. Now what does it mean? This means you have to be in the growing environment. Now you may ask the question, what is growing environment? The growing environment is where you are out of comfort zone. I have always looked for a higher position. Whenever I became area manager, I started preparing myself for zonal. When I became zonal manager, I started preparing for national sales manager. Because you have to always be out of your comfort zone. As long as you are in comfort zone, your growth is stopped. You have to be in the growing environment, which clearly says that you have to look forward. You have to be in an environment where anybody can challenge you. You're not the best one in that lot. If you're in the best one, look for something else. Look forward. People can challenge you. People can participate and give feedback to you. And you are in an environment which actually allow you to intentionally grow. So if you sum up all these 5 things, is actually to lift the lid of leadership. You are at 5, you want to make organization to go 6. So before organization goes, you have to move up from 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8. Organization automatically will follow you and grow your organization. And therefore it is very, very critical for any leader to lift the lid of leadership, which actually determines his level of leadership, his organization productivity, the success of his organization is actually come from this lid. And therefore what we have discussed is every day you have to lead yourself. What we have discussed is about every day you have to add value to others, because leadership is all about others. What we have discussed is every day you have to study leadership. The question always comes: are the leaders born? And John Maxwell, in a very lighter note, he says, obviously yes, because he has not seen any unborn leader. But the question is not whether the leader is born or not. The question is whether the leadership comes from birth with certain kind of characteristic which comes from by birth. It can be a possibility certain people comes with those kind of lineages of leadership, but leadership can be learned. You can become a good leader. Even in Hindu mythology, there are a lot of people who became an icon, but when if you see their initial stages of young, they were not there. So leadership can be studied, leadership can be practiced, and you can groom your leadership skill set at every level. And therefore, it is very, very critical to study leadership. And after that, you have to practice leadership, and intentionally you have to go every day. You have to follow these 5 steps every day to lift the lid of leadership and to make sure that your organization continuously grows and sustains. So today's topic is all about how to lift the lid of your leadership. Thank you very much. I'm sure it's going to add value to you. Thank you.